Good morning. Happy Sunday to everybody. So I just wanted to make another garden video to just give, oh man, that sun is bright. Oops, set off my alarm. But just wanted to make a little garden video for a little update. I got a message from somebody a couple days ago asking more about 10A gardening. And so I'm in probably 9B, 10A. Let's do this. So I try to garden a little bit more in 10A than in 9B just because I want to make sure that things can handle the heat. So let's give a little tour of the garden first. So this is what everything's looking like right now. This bed is doing pretty great. This bed, it's doing okay, but I just didn't fill it all the way up just because I know I'm coming kind of into like the end of my season. So in Florida, we garden probably like, I like to garden, this is my first year of gardening, so I have gardened from October till now, and because our summers get so hot and are so humid and they kind of rain a lot, it doesn't lend to very good growing conditions, just because you can get mold, you can get lots of other bugs and stuff. So I started growing, this is my first garden, started growing in October till now, and I probably won't plant anything more, maybe some like cover crops, some flowers, very easy stuff until September again. So we'll start off over here. These are beans. So we have some beans, and the white stuff on here is diatomaceous earth because I'm having issues with ants right now. So we have some beans, and I thought that this was a cucumber plant, but it's actually a squash. I'm not exactly sure what kind of squash it is, but these are the little fruits that it makes. It's probably a good handful size. That's the first one it's made. I'm not sure. It's had a couple problems with spider mites. All of this has. That's why it's kind of not looking the greatest. But I'm trying to get those under control right now. And it looks like it's gonna pop out a couple little more fruits here or there. But if it all dies, I'm not gonna be like, it's a learning process. This whole year is gonna be a learning process for me. So then on this side, we have this. This is the one I'm most excited about. This is the Good Hearted variety from Proven Winners. I got their seeds. They finally sold seed packets. So I have 2 of those in here. This one's flowering already, and I'm so excited. These are more of a determinate type, so they grow really well in pots, which is super exciting. And then in this bed, I have a bunch of little marigold plants, and then I have 2 of the Proven Winners. Where are these? Of course, the sun has bleached out my tag. I can't remember. It's either Garden Treasure or the other one that they had seeds of. And then over here, I have some shadow. I'm not the greatest at this YouTube video thing just yet. I have another little Good Hearted tomato over here. I have some lemon basil plants. That's a weed. 1, 2. And then I have, these are the Garden Treasure tomato plants. And I have rainbow carrots. I actually pulled a bunch of these up from this bed yesterday, and they are beautiful. Here, I'll pull this one out so y'all can see. But like, look at how big those carrots are, y'all. This is probably the best carrot harvest I've had so far. I planted some up in October, and they were all pretty small. but I've left these alone. I think I just messed with the other ones too much, so I've left these alone. And they're all just gorgeous. So I haven't pulled them all up yet. I just went and gave some to my parents yesterday. All right, and then these are, put that carrot down. These are my strawberry plants, and I keep pulling strawberries off of them. I have this over it because the bunnies like to come and eat the strawberries. But you can see this little guy. I've actually had much bigger ones. They're inside right now. Yeah, so they come up almost as big as ones you would get from the store, but I've had lots and lots of little ones. And so I have some beets here, and I also have beets over here. They're not super big yet, but that's okay. I have a couple of little lacinato dino kales over there, 2 of those. And then I tried to plant some flowers in here, and I just don't think I kept them moist enough. Then the lemongrass and the lavender. So I have 2 lavender plants, one here and one here, and this one's finally blooming. And it's so pretty. And then spearmint, lots of, let me come over here. Lots of greens for salads. This right here is a little dino kale too. I just picked it yesterday, so that's why there's not a lot on it. Some summer squash. Picked a couple of those yesterday too. They're all doing beautiful. More lettuce. I have 1 strawberry spinach and then a couple of regular spinach plants. Arugula, which is starting to bolt and go to seed. Oh, that's a big old bug. Right here I have my eggplants, and I am hoping that they are going to, that they got pollinated. Their flowers are really pretty when they actually bloom. They're not blooming very well right now, just because I think they might have, fingers crossed, might have gotten all pollinated. And then we have some radishes, some carrots. This is butterhead lettuce. I have some here and over here. These are my Sweet 100 tomatoes, and they're starting to become ripe. I need to water this guy. But yeah, hold on, let me get my shadow out of the way. The birds seem to really like my tomatoes too, which is annoying. But yeah, I try to pick them when they're kind of about a little bit orangier than I'd like to eat them, and I let them ripen the rest of the way inside so that the birds don't get them. And then I have a couple marigold plants around there, and then the last garden is my corn garden. Look how big it is, guys. I'm holding it at like level height. It's probably the tallest one. That one over there is up to my shoulders almost if I like stretch the leaves out. So that's super exciting. They all look great so far. I haven't had any bug issues yet. And then I have these little patty pan squash. Look how cute that guy is. So I have a green, I have a white, and then there's a yellow over there. This is my biggest one. It'll probably get picked today or tomorrow. If you leave squash on for a really long time, they just keep growing and growing and growing and growing. So I would like it to produce a little bit more, so I probably need to pick that guy. And then we have a bunch of radishes. And these are probably ready to come up for the most part. Ow, they're kind of spiky. And then we have our yellow patty pan squash, and it actually has a couple little babies on it. So, oh, look at these little guys. They haven't been pollinated yet, but they're so cute. Ow, I keep sticking myself with the little spikes. Yeah, so there are different kinds of plants. If you're new to growing squash and cucumbers, have spikes on them. So I'm not like the perfect person to ask about all the gardening questions, but yeah, they get little spiky guys on them, and I think it's mostly to protect their fruit and stuff from other animals, but man, they kind of hurt. So that is mostly what I've done with the garden so far. Oh, hold on, I'll show you. I've started planting some extra pollinator plants to like attract pollinators. The bees are loving this. Hold on. So I planted 4 of these salvia, and the bees, I don't know if you can see that, but there's 2 bees on this one. No, 3 bees on this one. I came out the other day, yesterday, and they were covered in bees, and that's so exciting. So exciting. Because the more bees I have, the more likely all of my stuff is to get pollinated, and it's just great. So I can't remember who asked me the question about gardening in Tennessee, but if you have specific questions, post them in the comments down below and I will try to answer them. As I said earlier, I don't really like to garden in the summer, or I'm not planning on gardening in the summer, just because it's hot here. And I just don't think a lot of them are really gonna thrive that well. And according to Gardenate, nothing really thrives here in the summer except for like sweet potatoes. But I'm not ready to dedicate a whole bed to sweet potatoes yet. I actually have another bed waiting to be set up. But yeah, I also prefer to garden in raised beds. These raised beds that I have, hold on, so these raised beds that I have, I got off of Wayfair, and I want to say they were like 70 bucks. Like this whole setup was 70 bucks, that whole setup was 70 bucks. So these are pretty cheap garden beds. They took me probably about, this whole bed probably took me about 100 bucks to fill up with soil.